Good morning, everyone. It's August 2nd, 2009. I'm Dwight Schmuck. This is the Schmuck Look. I saw something today that, I'm not a big fan of Glenn Beck. I personally think that occasionally he hits it just about exactly right, but nominally, not so much. But I did see a thing on YouTube this morning, and it is disturbing, really. It really is. It was put on, the one I took, which was number one on page one of News and Politics. Well, that playlist has expired, or is now invalid, is what the little pink stripe above it now says. It plays anyway because it's on my bookmarks, but you're not going to be able to find it, so I can't refer to it. However, I did find one exactly like it by MD Jarve. And, thank you so much, MD, for putting it up. I really do appreciate it. They haven't taken it down just yet. And that, too, that also was on page one of the News and Politics section of YouTube. I recommend you go watch them or pick up the Glenn Beck wherever you can, because I'm sure it will be reposted. Thank you all. Really, this time, oh my goodness, the Cash for Clunkers Cars Turn-In program is now going to get refinanced. What, $2 or $4 billion more dollars that we don't have? I mean, Lord knows we can't fund education or health care, but we can fund this Cash for Clunkers thing. Well, we're just following Germany because theirs is now permanent. There's two Cash for Clunkers program was supposed to be temporary, but there is very little temporary government spending program. Very few of those exist. There's a reason. That's not the scary part. The scary part is, and I've read some comments on both sections, this might be badly worded, but most of these guys are lawyers. They know how to word things. So I don't buy that. One comment or a couple of comments were by this alleged systems engineer who found no problems. He had gone on the site and using his tracking devices, etc., etc. Well, there were no tracking devices that he found, etc., etc., invading his computer. But let me read what's on the Glenn Beck thing. And this is direct, allegedly, because I didn't go to it, obviously, and don't do it at home. Do not go to the cars.gov site. I don't care what you've been told. Listen to this. And I'm reading directly, again, from the alleged, because Glenn Beck pulled it up on somebody else's computer he took out of an office somewhere. I'm sure Fox is buying that person a new computer. Thank you. And normally I can't stand Fox either. Faux news is what I call them. Anyway, you pull up, the dealer would pull up the cars.gov site. This application provides access to the DOT CARS system. When logged onto the CARS system, your computer is considered a federal computer system and is the property of the U.S. government. It goes on then to say, any or all uses of this system and all files on this system may be intercepted, monitored, recorded, copied, audited, inspected, and disclosed to authorized CARS, DOT, and law enforcement personnel, as well as authorized officials of other agencies, both domestic and foreign. Wait a minute. You're being a good guy, environmentally and patriotically and yada yada economically, trading in your car because it's a gas guzzler and pollutes and all that stuff. And heck, it's getting old, and the government's going to give you, what, $4,500 to do this? So it's a pretty good deal, really. But then they get to go onto the car dealer's computer. Okay, that's a wonderful thing, you say. Big deal. But let's say the dealer then calls you. Just checking up, da 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 da. And they're on Skype through the computer because, it's cost effective. And suddenly, your phone call is being listened to. And then they get to your computer because, sure, you give them your email or whatever. And, oh my, the government then tracks their messages to your computer, which then there's a tracking cookie on your computer, checking out what you've done. It sounds far-fetched and absurd. You know what? I don't trust these guys one little bit. Reading this kind of thing. And by all means, do not go to this site at home. Do not go to this site at your work. If you're going to go to this site, go to a library or something. An e-lounge. Let them infect their computers. But don't do it at home. Because I'm telling you what. And this might just be the schmuck talking. But there's something real wrong with any of these pictures lately. We can't fund this, we can't fund that, but we can do this? Right, folks. Somehow or other, it just doesn't stock up, doesn't add up, and I'm not real good at calculus or any of that stuff. Simple math, I'm pretty fair at. And this is one time that 2 plus 2 is not equaling 4. Hate to be the bearer of bad tidings, especially on a Sunday, but check out the video. MD Jarve, the Glenn Beck Cash for Clunkers thing. I forget what the title is right now, but check it out for yourselves. And for God's sakes, pass it on to people. I appreciate that. I'm Dwight Schmuck. That's today's Schmuck Look.